Because we want to deliver as much as we possibly can to you guys, we have 2 throwdown workouts. One is for those that still have equipment or access to a gym. The other one is our at-home workout. For those that have access to equipment or a gym, 4 time, 45, 30, 15 overhead squats and lateral burpees over the bar. The male weight will be 95, 125, 215. The female weight will be 65, 95, and 145. TTT THROWDOWN 41! Yeah!
Welcome to the Throwdown. I'm Max Elhaj. I'm Brandon Dorman.
I'm Mia Gianelli.
If you're new to this series,
This is why did you yell to start? If you're new to this series, this is where we announce a workout and invite all of you to do it with our Training Think Tank community.
we do the workout a week ahead of time. We give you a demo, some strategy, and some tips to improve at qualifier style workouts. This is some strange times right now. Everyone's home. If you've already finished Tiger King and watched everything on Netflix and you want a resource for continuing education on coaching or just as an athlete that wants to better understand what's going on in your internal system, check out our classroom at trainingthinktank.com. What's in there right now is we have our full movement course, a series on kettlebells that I created. Evan put a series out on concurrent training. We have 2 podcasts in there, and we got a bunch of other resources.
Q&As.
Q&As.
Tons of stuff.
Yeah,
Go check
lots
it
of
out.
stuff.
Classroom on the website. Yeah. Mia, hit us with it.
So this week, Max demos the workout again. Let's see what his strategy was and how it played out for him.
Overhead squats at 95 pounds, I think 2 sets, 25 and then 20, or maybe 30 and 15. I'll just kind of go by feel until it starts to get burny, drop it, take, 20-second break, 15-second break, and try to finish. Go right into burpees, 25 burpees, change one side, 20 burpees, change the other side. Do those overhead squats at 30 by feel, hopefully 2 sets, maybe like 17, 13, but maybe 3 sets, 10, 10, 10, because burpees blow me up. Then get into the burpees, do the same type of thing, 15 burpees or 20 burpees, put on one of the 45s, finish the burpees, put on the other 45, take a long break, try to hit those overhead squats. I don't know how those are going to feel, maybe 1 to 3 sets, and then try to sprint that last set of burpees. So we'll see.
This
I'm
is
about to do a lot of them.
your favorite workout you've ever done,
I
right?
wrote this workout specifically to challenge myself and have to do a big set of burpees, and I immediately regretted it in the first set of burpees.
How was Adam as a judge? Was he strict?
He was good, yeah. He actually was like, got to stand all the way up, so it slowed my squat cadence down. I blew up.
Wow, he's getting a better angle now.
Yeah.
How about you blue on blue, and then Adam's kind of like gray on gray?
Yeah, I had gray shorts on. Chris told me that I had a butt sweat stain, so I had to change it for the
You
camera.
always have a sweat stain.
I know, all I did was warm up and I'm already
It was a
sucked.
butthole sweat.
And then I went back and all I had was blue shorts and I felt like I'd look like a blueberry, and I was okay with that.
Your squat cadence was really fast to start. I'm guessing that's when he said, hey, stand all the way up.
Yeah,
You slow
yeah.
down a little bit. That's
Yeah.
still really fast. That's a huge difference in a workout like this where there's this many squats, being able to go up and down quickly. Obviously, the challenge is to make sure that you have full hip extension at the top.
What was your opening set?
I did 30, 15. My strategy was, well, they already have my strategy, and it went out the window at some point. I went into survival mode in my first set of burpees.
I think that that's like actually something to talk about though, because
Yeah.
we always have a strategy, and unless you're just like perfect at being able to pace, it always goes out the window for each of us,
Yeah.
right? So then figuring out, okay, now I have to slow down, or now I can speed up, what to do in that moment, and that's what good training is.
Yeah, so I tried to just do the same. I used my outside foot and just tried to step all the burpees, and I wanted to keep as fast of a cadence as possible. This is an excuse, but also just a realistic thing. It was like 88 degrees and kind of humid, and that garage got so hot, and I felt like I was melting. I've never wanted to like quit in the middle of a workout so badly as what's about to happen to me in this workout.
Good thing there was a camera on you.
Yeah, there was no choice.
Right now you have a really good cadence. I mean, you're like at 2 seconds a burpee, maybe just a little bit over that, which is based on the data that we have, that's about where you want to be like top 1% in the sport. Obviously, over time, I'm sure that slows.
Yeah, I wanted to do 25 burpees and then change the weight and do 20. But I got 15 in, and I was like, at this point, I was legitimately redlined. I was like, wow, this is really early to be hurting this much. So I did 15, switched it, and then I really tried to convince myself just to keep moving quickly and only move quickly. But then as it gets into it, my rest times got pretty long.
You come down at a little bit of an angle, which I like. I like doing that on lateral burpees, like not being parallel to the bar, a little bit of an angle towards it. I think it makes it a more natural
Yeah,
jump.
I think I also kind of have to do that because I don't want to hit my foot on the plate.
Oh.
Like
I was
this
going to compliment
inside
your
plate.
strategy, but now I take it back.
No, I definitely think that's the way to do it. It allows you to get over the bar a little bit faster too. And I would say for everybody watching this that hasn't tried the opposite foot step up each time, it is well worth it. Not only just for a workout to be a little bit faster, but also just like for some symmetry in your training too.
Opposite foot just meaning like switching it
So
up.
so right leg on the right side, left leg on the left side as far as which foot you're stepping up. And the same thing with bar facing burpees. We talked about that before, but I think that's worth it. Practicing the speed on both, just so that you have the coordination to do so if you need it.
Took a little mid-plate
Yep.
change rest there, huh?
This was like a, oh my God, my soul is starting to melt break. I need to get my shit together. And also, my sweat is starting to get all over the floor and my feet were slipping underneath me. And I kept thinking, man, this is gonna get really unsafe overhead squatting on this with running shoes. All of that was going through my head, which it shouldn't have
Why
been,
did you
but
wear running shoes?
I left my shoes at the gym.
All right.
This is at-home gym throwdown edition.
While he's doing these burpees, I'd like to point out the gold assault bike in the background. That is old school right there.
That's my little golden movie. I don't put that much volume on that thing.
I was gonna say, if you sprint it, you break it.
We should.
All right, so you're getting close to the end of the first set of burpees.
Yeah, so there it is, 45.
You did it.
And Adam's like, here's a towel, you're melting. That felt like, this is when I wanted the workout to be over.
4
I
minutes
was
in.
so hot, yeah. How long is this break? Let's see.
So your original strategy going into the second bar was how?
I said 2 or 3 sets. I didn't
Okay.
really know. I needed to kind of figure out how it was going to feel, or I wanted to just feel it out, see what it would actually feel like. This break ended up being like, we're on about 30 seconds right
Yeah.
now, which is actually less bad than I thought. I thought I would have, when I was like, I definitely rested for a minute and a half before I picked up the bar. And this is normally a pretty light overhead squat, but it just felt so wobbly. Like I couldn't get my feet underneath me already. So I split it up into 3 sets. It was like, come on,
dancing.
next.
You feel like it was just because your breathing was out of control, it was hard to stabilize?
Yeah, I think it was just like my midline was just like floppy and I was hot and tired.
Your speed still looks great, so that's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
And you know, the other thing too is like looking at Max's overhead position and how good it is compared to most. This is like, to me, the overhead position is one of the most, if not the most important as far as like mechanical positions in the sport now, because everything's tested overhead. The snatch, the muscle up are the top 2 things tested at sanctionals over the last 2 years, and then things like overhead squats, thrusters, any gymnastics where you're holding onto a barbell, having a good overhead position really helps. And if you think about all the people that are winning in the sport, obviously they move well in general, but they have awesome overhead positions.
Yeah, it makes a big difference for sure. But I think also I'm a little bit like almost hypermobile in my
Yeah,
shoulder
for
joints
sure.
from doing so much gymnastics work. And when I need to stabilize load under this much fatigue, it's just like a wobble fest. So I did 11, 10, and then I have 9 left. Adam was trying to like help keep me on a clock here and encouraging me to go. I was hurting, and I knew that the 30 burpee set was going to be tough to get through, so I was just trying to stay as calm as I could.
Do you vary your hand position for overhead squats?
Yeah, when I do these light ones and even the heavier ones in the next set, I'm inside. I'm on like that inside collar on the powerlifting collar, but when I snatch, I'm actually wider. Just allows me to go a little bit faster. I can go a lot closer and go faster, but my triceps from the burpees were pretty gassed, and when I try to do that with a narrow grip, it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, see, I think this is kind of the difference from person to person. When my triceps go up, I actually like going even more narrow because I feel like I can almost lock my elbow out and punch my shoulders up. at least that's the feel that I'm getting, and there's less pressure on my triceps. Whereas if I go wide, I feel like, especially when I get sweaty, I know people have kind of experienced that as their hands start sliding out on the bar, it gets really hard to stabilize. Still a pretty good cadence on, with the burpees. I think the challenge with burpees just in general is being able to keep a similar pace throughout and not having like this exponential drop off. You see most people start with 2 second a rep burpees and they go to 4 or 5 second a reps, and that's where you lose all your time.
That's what I was really trying to avoid, was because I knew if I redline, I need to take breaks. I'm not the type of person that can just like push through that mentally. But I didn't want that to happen plus slow movement, so I kept trying to convince myself to just keep my burpee cadence as fast as possible. But like I couldn't even stand up here. I was just like, and I was aware I was on camera too, so it made it even worse. I was like, come on, man, stand up, be on your feet, you can do this.
I think everyone has to submit a video this week.
Yeah, look at that, this puddle of sweat.
You definitely sweat more than the average person.
I'm really curious to see the scores of this one come up. These big sets of burpees are tough, and then that last jump in the overhead squat bar, it was like putting 1,000 pounds on there. Chris even gave me a little cheer from behind the camera at one point. I was like, he's got to be feeling bad.
Yeah, you know when Chris says something that must be pretty ugly.
He's like, you look like shit on camera. Yeah, so I ended up splitting these into 10, 10, 10, and then using this break to switch out the weight.
I think that's a good strategy for those that are going to do this at home or in their gym to make sure that you come up with a plan of when you want to change your weights to keep the movement speed a little bit higher than otherwise. So like doing 30 straight just doesn't make sense if you're going to fall off to that 4 or 5 second a rep burpee.
Yeah, and then also the weight changes too. Like if they get slow, you don't realize it's a lot of extra wasted time.
Yeah.
I needed to because I was really hurting, and I knew if I tried to just push through it, and then I wouldn't be able to lift that last bar. But for people that can push it, there's a lot of time to be saved in the transitions, changing out the weights, and then that last barbell too, I think is going to chew a lot of people up. See what it looks like when I get there pretty soon.
You're doing a good job of keeping your step-up pace pretty quick. I've noticed for myself that's something that I let get too slow when I'm tired on burpees, is I just step slower. So I try to focus on keeping that up, because it's not really more tiring to just keep that cadence. It's just like staying focused.
Yeah, it's a discipline thing, I think, a lot of times. All right.
You mopping the floor?
Yeah. Adam was even concerned. Yeah.
I might as well clean these mats while I'm here.
Yeah, this was overheat city. I was in a bad spot right now. Let's see what this rest break is. I think I finished right around 10 minutes mopping it up.
I feel like that's gonna make it worse.
Yeah, I just spread it
And now
around.
it's on your face.
Yeah, whatever. All right.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I got my hands on, but let's see. I might not actually.
So you're going to take another break here.
Yeah, it was a rest break and then a second rest break with my hands on there.
Yeah, you remind me of the guy I played golf with a couple weeks ago that lined up every putt like 6 times.
Yeah, so it's about 55 seconds before I actually went to even do my first rep of overhead squat. It felt okay getting it up there, but
It looks fine.
oh, yeah.
Speed is
Yeah,
nice.
it looks
Now I
good.
feel I shouldn't have dropped it. It felt a lot worse than that.
Man, that's so true that when you start hurting bad, feel and real are totally different.
Yeah.
So believing in yourself a little bit, I think, helps.
Yeah, if I was redoing this now, I would definitely not drop after 5. But in the moment, I was like, at 5 was max effort.
Yeah. A personal question, since you're on your knees. Have you ever used any of the tools in the background?
No, I just look at them. This is all John's.
You got a nice setup in there, but
Yeah, makes me look like a man. I don't know how to use those things. All right, so that first set I finished at 11:20, I think. So that's like another 30, maybe 40 seconds. Come on, Max, pull that damn bar. All right, so that's like another 35-second rest.
Yep. Tight.
Did you think about snatching any of these, or was that just not worth?
I also, my hands were so wet, and I don't have any chalk at home.
Yeah.
So even cleaning that, it was slipping out of my hands.
Yeah.
So those are like little things that, if this was an actual qualifier, I would definitely have been more prepared. But it was a huge difference that, like, those little things, just even flat shoes to do overhead squats instead of like soft, squishy running shoes and chalk. Those two things probably would have made a big difference for that last bar.
During the age group qualifier, they ended on an overhead squat that was about this weight, and watching people on site do it, they had to rack it onto their back. And I remember thinking it was so much effort to even get the bar in the right position before getting overhead, and that was like crushing people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good that you didn't have to do that, but for people that do have to do that, I feel like you have to almost go AMRAP reps at that point, just to not have to re-rack it so many times.
I think I would probably do that again, is just sell out and go as big as I can and try to do it in 2 sets. And I do know that the elites are probably going to do this in 1 set and just get it done unbroken. You could probably save a minute and a half. I mean, I finished my burpees, I think, around 10 minutes, right? And so this 1 set of 15 overhead squats took me 3 minutes to get through, which was mostly just resting.
Now you sprint.
Yeah, this is my sprint.
I mean, you're right back where you started. So these are 2 seconds.
Yeah, man.
I think that's a pretty good sprint for a workout like this. Obviously, you know, maybe some games level athlete is going to be doing faster than that.
Yeah, you could pop your feet up and just stay low and not stand up at all and do it faster. But I mean, this was my soul being out there.
Ripped out.
Yeah,
it
it took me a good like 30 minutes to kind of recover from this and feel like a normal human again. I was conscious of it. I was like, don't lay down afterwards, don't lay down afterwards. And I couldn't even do that. I was like, fucking, I don't care. I don't care what they say about me.
Good job, Max.
Yep.
All right,
Fetal
everybody.
position. Good luck. Hopefully that doesn't feel like this for you when you do it.
I hope it does.
I blew up pretty bad. I stayed to plan. I did 30 unbroken, dropped it, 15 unbroken pretty quick, which I think if I could redo it, I'd probably go like 15, 15, 15 with a quick break between, for me personally. Then in the burpees at 15, I was like, man, I'm already redlined and this garage is real hot. So I did one of my weight changes at 15, another one at 30. And then from there, I felt like I was kind of in survival mode. I feel like my overhead squats were okay. I did 11, 10, 9. My breaks just got a little long in that set. And then that 30 set of burpees and the 15 overhead squats just chewed me up. I feel like my rest got pretty long. So it was a couple extra rests, breaks than I planned, and they got longer than I wanted to, but it was just a tough workout. That's a lot of burpees. My legs were blown up. I wanted to cry, quit, but yeah, that was my plan. It didn't go well, but hopefully you can beat it. That's the workout for this week. Thank you for watching the Throwdown. Tomorrow, April 3rd at 12 o'clock, me and Brandon are gonna do a live Q&A for training through this COVID situation. Remember, classroom on trainingthinktake.com. We have a ton of resources for educating yourself as a coach or an athlete on your body. And we love you very much. There's a lot of stuff for Training Think Tank. Go to trainingthinktake.com.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pata in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Let it be known, what it be known, what it be known, you know what I'm saying? Pata.